Hi, my name is Jeannie, and I am a writer of science fiction, fantasy, and romance and poetry. I joined Margate's creative writing group recently, and while I'm in California and they are over in the United Kingdom, we still manage to spend time. So I really like the writing group because it is a study of writing as well as um, you know, learning about writing. And one of the things that I enjoy is trying different styles and learning about other writers. So, um, this first reading of mine is a poetry reading that where Margate Writing Group was working on different styles. So I wrote an iambic metered poem called Christmas River of Dreams. Let me read that to you now. Oh, to travel down the river with its winding, shining path. In my fevered dreams, this silver, I will float down on my raft. On the way, I'll see the birch tree where the partridge eats a pear, or see 10 tall drummers drumming on the sandy banks right there. Maybe bending round a corner, I'll see Ma and Pa kiss sweet. They'll stand under mistletoe and laugh gently as lips meet. My dumb sister is not present. She was banished and was bad. So her presents now are gifted to the best my parents had. And the food is filled with creams and sweet, savory delight. And I'm eating on my raft as I travel through the night. I smell bread and juicy crayons as the berries start to bubble. I am just about to drink the tart stuff, but white water's trouble. I can hear some voices rumbling, and the sky they seem to darken. I have to put this bike together? That's just bloody rotten. My da is vexed, and ma's upset, and waters rise and fall. My ride turns slippery dangerous as I'm rafting through it all. Soon a tune invades the waters, and it's tinkling bright with shine. I'll be home for Christmas is now crooning through my brine. A left turn and a right turn, and I'm almost at the end. What deserved or delights find will my winding river bend? This darn COVID has thinned waters, and my gift count is much lower. But I'll get to phone talk others, and my waters drift much slower. It's too bad my Gran and Gramps can't be with us when I wake, but perhaps I'll get to visit them. Dream of rivers soon to take. I also wrote some flash poetry for Twitter, and a couple of these were based on emotions. So, this first one, let me just read, and you can take what emotions you want from it. An artist painted swaths of blue. The ribbons made me think of you. Awash with loss, I tripped the ocean. My travels deep, love's mighty potion. I sank into the literal and found my siren pitiful. Thinking twice, I skipped on shore to find a new love's troubadour. And a second flash fiction here is a quiet noise as white as snow growls angry in my head. Silent screams of tortured prose rise higher to be fed. Shouting text relieves my pain as words ooze out the sour. Bitter seeds I grow instead, and COVID is the flower. Also, I wrote a novel, and I'm working on getting that published. And I wanted to read a quick chapter from it. The book is about a polyamory relationship between three women, and it is a meeting of the three women who are all three unexpectedly pregnant. So it's got quite some twists and turns, and it's mostly humorous, but it is a polyamory romance. It's called The Third Temptation. Do you know when you conceived? The doctor guiding the therapy group inquired into the room full of people trying to learn more about their pregnancy than they could read in a book. It's not vital, but the conception date will help you understand the stages of your journey. I want us to break into groups and discuss the things you feel are important. What are your primary concerns? Why are you having this child? Will you have a support network? Who will be that network? Let's group into threes and fours. Don't be shy. The course is 6 weeks to help you prepare your mind. The later stages of your pregnancy might involve Lamaze or other courses to prepare your body. Let's find some new friends. Amy and Tori moved their chairs back toward the far wall they'd shared for the previous 30 minutes. It was a nice offset area, and they both muttered far away from galoshes, chuckling at each other. Eventually, they discovered they were two of the three single women in the room. The third was a leather girl, the unknown. Tori found her eyes seeking the nice-looking black woman, although Tori was more interested in the woman's fascinating blue eyes than her skin color. She saw her speak with the instructor. The doctor quickly pointed in Tori and Amy's direction. The woman glanced over and nodded. She took off her glasses and shoved them in her jacket and turned to head their way. May I join you, ladies? It looks like we're being lumped together to keep us from spreading our loose morals. Tori gestured to a chair, and the women sat down to form a small triangle between them. Jillian Brachette, single and unexpectedly pregnant. Jillian gave a small, serious smile. Tori reached over and offered her hand. The creamy white hand with fashionista nails slid into Jillian's warm clasp. Tori Samonti, single, apparently antique for motherhood, and prone to cursing. Nice to meet you. Tori delivered a crooked grin. Jillian nodded. Her short black hair with tiny curls seemed to dance. Tori liked the trendy high and tight hairstyles and looked at the shaved sides of Jillian's head. The cut stressed the fabulous jawline and charismatic full lips. Tori liked the diamond-studded pierced ears, both at the lobe and the helix. Jillian was very sexy. Good to know. Jillian's full nostrils flared as she looked back at Tori. She turned to Amy and tilted her head to the side. Amy lifted her chin a bit and managed a small smile. Amy Drayton, single, pregnant, she stuttered, and a tear fell from her brown eyes. Tori glanced at Jillian and they both frowned. Tori immediately reached out and took Amy's hand. Amy sniffed and gave a grateful smile to Tori. Sorry, she didn't explain. She reached up and wiped the tear away. Jillian leaned down and caught the downcast eyes. It's okay. I'm freaked out a bit myself. I do not understand what I'm doing, and I have two gay men in my backup corner who will be daddies if they have to rip this kid out of me to do it. I will cry a lot. A lot, Jillian emphasized the words to Amy. Ditto, Tori sighed. I'm a high-risk pregnancy, and I cry because my toaster wouldn't release the She hesitated. Damp toast this morning. It burned like that slice to non-edible, and I'm purchasing a new toaster right after this meeting. Jillian snorted at the remark and gave Tori a quick, heated look of interest, her eyes dipping down briefly to cleavage revealed by the 3 open buttons of her blouse. Her eyes lifted and met green. Maybe you should wait on that purchase. I might have an extra one to give you soon. Jillian winced at the casual flirt flew out of her mouth. She squinted over at Tori, wrinkling her nose. She was probably expecting a glare, but Tori gave a wide smile. So sorry. My mind is not in the right frame. She shook her head. Well, that offer is only good when you convert. It doesn't hold true for women who have already ventured inside. Tori's green eyes darkened. Although you might get points for trying, but I'd make you work for it. Maybe I'll pin you down someday. Her green eyes smoldered with heat. Jillian swallowed and drew a breath, blue eyes darkening and blinking at some internal thought. Tori returned her gaze to Amy and patted her hand. Sorry, sweetness. The pregnancy will play havoc with our hormones, our emotions, and our libido. Please don't take offense as the two of us, she shrugged in Jillian's direction, smack talk, sexual innuendos during our entire pregnancy. I'm not offended, Tori. I'm aware of the Lesbian Toaster Award. Amy smiled over at Jillian with a not so innocent smile, her pink lips parted with just the tip of her tongue showing between her teeth. Jillian's just letting you know she's been with a woman. Jillian coughed. Amy rolled her eyes. Okay, with women. She's been with many, many women. Amy looked straight at Jillian, and Jillian shook her head at the many, many remark. Amy continued after they had had that silent eye conversation. She returned her gaze to Tori. I mean, look at who she's flirting with. You've got that sexy, I'll devour you and you'll like it attitude. Plus, she ticked off a list on her fingers. Your curves, your style, your ass. Please, she'd be a fool not to hit on you. Tori opened her mouth and then closed it again. She knew she'd looked like a gourami fish making bubbles in a tank. This crazy, beautiful younger woman thought she was sexy. Hell, she couldn't formulate any reply, or she was afraid the words she'd say would be filthy, filthy hot. She flushed with the surge of arousal. She refrained from commenting. Amy drew Tori's hand closer, just beneath her firm breast, and held tight. I think you might get your own toaster, Tori, Jillian remarked in a stage whisper, looking between them. Both of the women regarding Tori had layered looks of interest, and while she was torn between them, she was more confused with why she suddenly felt the rush of arousal flowing through her body. She bit her lipstick-covered lip. Thank you for letting me read. I hope you enjoyed this. Bye.